Hi, fourth grade. This is Mr. Christofferson, and today I want to show you how to add mixed numbers. So before we get started, it's really important that we have a clear idea of what a mixed number is. And a mixed number is a mix of a whole number and a fraction. So for example, I might say I have 1, that's my whole, and 1/2, my fraction. I might say 3 and 3/4. I have my whole number and my fraction. Or I might say 10 and 2/5. Whole number, fraction. And an example of this would be the other night, I was so hungry and I ordered takeout pizza. Trying to help small businesses, and I ordered takeout pizza. And the pizza came and it was cut into 4 big pieces. And right away, I ate all 4 pieces. And I was still hungry. So I got on the phone and I called and I ordered another pizza. And that was cut into 4 pieces. And right away, I ate another whole pizza. So right now, I've eaten 2 whole pizzas. And I got on the phone and I ordered another pizza. And it was cut into 4 pieces again. But this time, I got full after I ate 1/4 of the pizza. So I ate 2 whole pizzas and 1/4. So together, I ate a total of 2 and 1/4 pizzas, my whole number and my fraction. So now I want to show you how we can add these fractions together. And to do that, I'm going to start with using this chart. And this is a chart that you can recreate yourself. I've split it into whole number and fraction, whole number and fraction. So for this first example, I'm going to have my denominator be 4. Okay? And I'm showing this with 1, 2, 3, 4 cubes. Oh, it's off to the side here. 1, 2, 3, 4 cubes. So I know that 4/4 is equal to 1. So right now, these cubes are representing 1 whole. And I'm going to put another whole there. Okay? So here I have 2 wholes. And then my fraction is just going to be 1/4. I'm going to lower this down just a little bit. I can see that I'm covering up those words, and that's important to see. So I had 2 wholes, and here I had 1/4. This is 1/4 of my whole. And to this equation, I'm going to add another whole and 2/4. So I'm adding it to 1 whole plus 2/4. Okay? When we add mixed numbers together, we always like to start with the fractions. This is really important when it comes to subtracting mixed numbers, so we want to develop a good habit now of starting with the fraction. So if I think about where to put my answer, I'm going to use this bottom right corner here, and I'm going to start with fractions. So I have 1/4 plus 2/4. And I know that 1/4 plus 2/4, 1/4 plus 2/4 will give me 3/4. And I can see that if I put these together, I have 3/4. Okay? And now I'm going to start adding my whole numbers. So after I do fractions, I do whole numbers. 1, 2, plus 1. So 2 plus 1 is 3. So if I'm thinking about my final answer, I can smush these all together. Here I have 3 wholes, 1, 2, 3, and my fraction that's left over is 3/4. So my final answer would be 3 and 3/4. Let me do another one. This time, instead of having a denominator of 4, I'm going to have a denominator of 5. Okay, so here, same problem there. I didn't learn. I'm going to scoot it down so we can see. our denominator is 5. I've broken it into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces. I have 5/5, which is equal to 1 whole. And here's my fraction. 1, 2, 3. It is 3/5. So together, if I put this, my whole number and my fraction together, I'm going to be saying 1 3/5. And to this, I'm going to add 1 whole. And my fraction is going to be 2/5. So if I were to put this together, it would be 1 2/5. So if you remember from the last example, we always start with our fractions. So I'm going to start by adding 3/5 plus 2/5. And I know that my denominator is not going to change. So 3/5 plus 2/5, if I smush those together, will give me, let me do it down here, 2/5 plus 3/5 will equal 5/5. And I can see that right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5/5. So when I put my fractions together, it made another whole. Because remember, 5/5 is equal to 1. So I was able to put my fractions together, and it created another whole. And now I'm on to my whole numbers. 1 plus 1 is 2. 1 whole plus 1 whole is 2. And now I can smush them together. Here I had 1, 2, 3 wholes. So if I go back to my equation here, 1 3/5 plus 1 2/5, it equals 3. I don't have a fraction in this case because my fractions made up another whole number. One last example. All right. Here my denominator is going to be 3. So that's 3/3, which I know is equal to 1. And another 3/3, which is equal to 1. And if I put that together, I have 2. So my whole number is 2. And my fraction is 2/3. So together it's 2 2/3. I'm going to add another 2 2/3. So here my equation, I'm going to move this down. Here my equation is 2 2/3 plus 2 2/3. Remember, we start with our fraction. So 2/3 plus 2/3 will equal 4/3. 2/3 plus 2/3 equals 4/3. I see that I have an improper fraction. This is greater than 1 whole. Okay, we'll come back to that in just a moment. I'm now on to my whole numbers. 2 plus 2 is equal to 4. So now I can smush it together. I had 4 wholes, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 4/3. I'm noticing that this one is larger than my whole number. So I'm wondering if I can kind of manipulate it and change it a little bit. I'm going to remove 1 cube to show you that now I've created another whole. And what was left over was just 1/3. So my final answer here, how many whole numbers? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And what's my fraction that's left? 1/3. 2 2/3 plus 2 2/3 gave me 5 wholes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 1/3. Okay, so if you don't have cubes, which I totally understand, you could draw a picture to represent this, right? So when I was dealing with thirds, I could have a picture look like this. And I shade in my whole numbers, right? So here would be showing 2, 2 holes. And here would be shading in 2/3. So where I used my cubes to illustrate this, you could draw a picture to help problem solve. Okay? So remember, we start with adding fractions, then we go to the whole number, then we smush it together. Okay? I hope this helped illustrate how we can add mixed numbers together. Tomorrow I'm going to be showing you how to subtract mixed numbers. Good luck. You guys are doing awesome. We miss you so much. And I hope this helped.